Going live. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Morning Garden Show. I am live here, and here's what I want to talk to you about today. Got a couple of things done here at the home site, and came out pretty good. I also um, did did in fact get a lot of things done, but went out and checked my test plants. Now these are a fall variety of plants, which is called a Swiss chard. And I started giving the Swiss chard a dose of urine about I want to say about a week ago. And folks, I don't have to make this stuff up. Those plants are incredible. The plants are standing strong. And like I said, this is my first test with fall plants. I've been using urine for years, but now I'm solely focusing on urine as a fertilizer. Even though right now in my storage area, I don't know how many bags of fertilizer I have. I never took the time to go down and actually count all of them, but there are quite a few bags down there, all different companies, um, and I am doing absolutely great with them. I'm doing absolutely great with the urine. Now, but let me explain something. Thank you for that thumbs up. I appreciate that. I looked over and saw it, and I said, "Look at that. This person likes what I'm saying, or they enjoy my show, or both." Um, the the thing about it is, using urine is incredible because what the urine does is, if you go on a site and you look up the makeup of urine, if you look it up, you'll see all kinds of macronutrients in it and nitrogen, all kind of great stuff in it that is great for your plants. I can't name all of them right now. I don't have the list in front of me. But if you go and Google it, chemical makeup of urine, and you look at the chemical makeup, you will see all and more that some of the fertilizers you buy from the store do not have, and it's in there. Um, and you'll say to yourself, "Oh my God, I can't believe that this urine has all this in it," and it's there. So make certain that if you ever decide, and I'm not telling anybody to go use urine on their plants, but I'm using it. I'm going to use it, and the fertilizer that I have, unopened bags, brand new, uh, tons of bags. I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of pounds of fertilizer I have, but I kept finding those fall sales, and I would go get them at what's the name of the store called Home Depot, and I would go get them there and collect them and and say, wow, because if you get see a $8 bag marked down to 250, you tend to want to take advantage of it. That's how I was programmed. I definitely make certain that I try to take advantage of any type of sales that I see that something I'm interested in. But the urine actually works better. The urine works better on your plants. And here's the thing about it: you see the result immediately, immediately. And if you're interested in it, get a pen and a piece of paper, and I'll give you some quick information or tips on how you can use it. Excuse me, on how you can use it. First of all, I use uh, 1 part water to 10 parts. I mean, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 1 part urine to 10 parts water. 1 part urine to 10 parts water. And it works incredibly. I don't worry about burning my plants. I don't worry about anything going wrong with my plants. Now, if you're skeptical, set up a test plant. If you got 10 plants, use one of them as a test plant. And you'll shortly see the test plant show signs of you using urine on them. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning. All right. Thank you. And I got to tell you this one thing about it. I said, welcome to I privacy and okay. Chat. Remember your regard, the privacy and community guidelines. Thank you very much, Steve Lewis. Thank you very much. Stephen Lewis. I'm sorry, Stephen Lewis. But let me just say this to you. I want you to think about trying it. Not saying go try it. I'm saying think about it. If you decide to try it, you will be shocked, and you'll ask yourself, "How come I haven't been doing this for years?" The urine, you water the plant. Your plant's kind of light green. That's the first thing you're gonna know. Your plant's light green. You water it, and then within about a week, it's going to darken up. But the first thing you'll notice is how firm your plant will get when you go to touch it. When you go to touch it, you'll see how firm that plant gets, and you'll realize that it is absolutely working. It's doing something. You'll say it's doing something. Then you water it once a week. Like I started mine on a Monday, and every Monday I just water it again. Now, some people will water it without mixing it down, especially if it's raining. I don't do any of that. I always remember mix it down because that's the safest way to do it. You don't want anything to happen because some plants, and I'm doing two tests actually, folks. I'm doing a house plant and I'm doing some Swiss chard and I'm doing some pepper plants, and that is absolutely working for me. Let's see. Yes, better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. And I'm having a good time with doing this because I see how fast the plants are responding. They are responding. Remember, urine is also sterile. A lot of people that have been looking into this subject learned that early on that it is sterile uh, fertilizer that comes from your body, and it actually causes your plant to respond positively, and you'll see that you'll be happy with the results. And I would like for some people to try it and leave some feedback on my page because once they start using it, they're gonna say, "Why haven't I done this before? This is free. Can I use it in different crops? Can I keep going with it?" As some people take meds and they're concerned about that. Well, a lot of people take meds. Lots of people take meds, but there's a lot of information out there if you want to read up more on urine. But I'm gonna tell you something. There are companies out there using urine, big companies, but they're not saying anything about it. They're not saying anything at all about it. They're keeping it hush hush because a lot of the people in the U.S. Tend to have uh, a problem with using something that comes from urine. I'm eating something that comes from urine. They say I can't do it. It comes from urine. I can't do it. It just doesn't work for me. Well, fine. Other countries that have been using this for many years and have been healthy, and the people have been vibrant, and everything, and the food is just uh, it's cost effective because you can get a fertilizer that is plentiful, and a lot of people that are involved in the selling and processing of urine, they making a dollar off of it because they realize the value of it. Some countries cannot afford the fertilizers that we can afford here. They cannot afford them. And quite frankly, a lot of us in the U.S. can't afford these fertilizers. I mean, if you really look at the fertilizers that you get here, a lot of these fertilizers, a lot of them, just read and get into the process of it. They're made from animal urine and animal feces that have been colored with dyes. They have been cooked and made into granulated. And really, what it actually is a lot of fertilizers that are basically animal waste. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? Food Farmers Permaculture. Hello, how are you doing this morning? And this morning I woke up. It's a cool, cool, cool day. I got up, went out in the yard, and it brought a big, big smile to my face to go out there. I mean, I'm walking better now, folks. I'm walking better now, and it be careful when you're walking. You know, I stepped on a curb wrong and hurt myself, but laid me up for about 7 weeks, out of work for 6. Not a pretty thing. I had to have people take care of me, and I'm gonna tell you something. It was a tough thing because I kept saying this one thing. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. No, I'm fine. I'm all right. And some people that knew me knew that he's not all right. He's losing weight. He's not eating. Um, uh, uh, he can't get down to the kitchen. It's difficult for him to get to the restroom. You know, so I was doing what I had to do. I'm a tough son of a gun, and I'm gonna tell you something. Um, the other thing is, let me make this clear. Well, as I said, let me make this perfectly clear. Um, I couldn't get out into my yard, and that what broke my heart was I couldn't get out there. Question. I said, eat your microgreens. I've been seeing a lot about microgreens. I'm excited about it, but I've seen people growing sprouts indoors, and I'll say, wow, where do you get the seeds from for the sprouts? Where do you get them from? Because I haven't did a lot of research or anything on sprouts, but sprouts are just immature plants. I am feeling good, folks. I am feeling good. Make absolutely certain, folks, that you look into different fertilizers and see what works best for you. I do not use Miracle Grow. Oh, and another thing, I believe this that the Miracle Grow in my test right here, my urine test outperformed Miracle Grow without a doubt. Because I did a test early on using Miracle Grow on one plant and urine on another plant, and each day went by, I could see something was different, but the Miracle Grow was outperformed by the urine. The plant was not only better colored, the plant was stronger, the plant grew faster. Oh my God. And let me tell you something. I'm just excited. I'm just excited because I know that once you start using urine, and I hope that some of, excuse me, folks, I hope that some of you mentioned where you got some of the information that you might say the Morning Garden Show was telling me about urine. I started using it and I'm seeing results, or the Morning Garden Show told me about this, or I learned about it before and he only confirmed it, reaffirmed it, whatever. And I'm going to tell you something incredible. Incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm happy with the results I'm getting from using human urine. Um, the plants, like I said, I'm looking over at a plant over across from me, and it's performing well. It's performing well. And I thought that plant was, when the plant was on its last leg, I started using Miracle Grow. I said, I got to do something. I don't want to lose this plant. I had this plant over 20 years. And I said, Morning Gardener, put your money where your mouth is. And I did that. And when I put my money where my mouth is, I took a plant that was 20 years old and started giving it human urine, and the plant started rocketing off, started growing. And when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. I was so happy. And then I started testing out the amount I would give. I said, better to be, and like Stephen Lewis wrote earlier, it's better be safe than sorry. So I cut it back, and I went to first. I was 6 parts water, 1 part urine, and saw that was I said, no, that's not really safe. Let's go to 10 parts, 10 parts water to 1 part, and then I found that perfect balance, and I started using it in all my plants, and I saw that it was working, and I said, oh my God, my pepper plants are as strong and as stern as plants that are like comprised of wood. And I knew I was on to something when I saw the peppers sizing up, when I saw the blossoms, you know, being grown on the plants. And I said, wait a minute, phosphorus. okay, urine does contain phosphorus. It contains a lot of great things that are perfectly balanced for your plant. And the interesting thing about it is those of us who have better diets can produce better urine, which produces better fertilizer. Oh, thank you. Thank you for this information. She wrote there. Thank you. You are quite welcome. You're quite welcome. I just want to see you be successful. That's all. When I see you be successful, that means I'm successful. That means I spent all this time. Because I said to people before, it's sad, but I live, eat, breathe this stuff called gardening. That's what I do. I talk about it all the time. I wake up at night, keep my cell phone by my bed so I can look up things dealing with gardening. Well, matter of fact, all the ladies that know me pretty much tell their friends, oh, I know this guy. Yeah, I know this guy. This guy. If you have a problem with your house plants, if you have a problem with this plant, I know this guy. And that's what they do. Because when they give me the problem that they're having or the situation that they're having, the first thing I do is listen closely. And in my mind starts to play all these scenarios on how or what could be going on with their plant. What is the mistake most gardeners make? Overwatering, over fertilizing, not planting plants in the proper locations where they get proper sun. The medium that they're growing in, is it worn out? A lot of people have that problem with their house plants. And when they're dealing with their gardening, people say, "Oh, I add lots of fertilizer and I'll do better," and that's not always the case. Like for instance, the urine that you're using, you don't use a lot of urine. The less is better when it comes to urine, and your plants will automatically respond. They will respond to the urine. Well, I guess that's it. I'm talking you guys' ears off, and I don't want to do that because that makes people say, "Oh, the next time I tune in, I'm not going to tune in because this guy can talk. This guy can talk." But I'm happy because think about it. Some of the gardening companies that produce, excuse me, fertilizing companies producing fertilizer, they put a shiny bag and these beautiful colors on the bag, beautiful fruit, perfect vegetables on the front of the bag. And you go into the big box stores and you buy, hoping, praying that you can have vegetables like this. Oh, okay, okay. You're absolutely right. It's so, oh my God, it's so simple that it blows your mind. And that's what throws you because you got all these gardeners that are online and they're actually salespeople. And they tell you, use this because they use it, buy this product because it works. So you get sucked in. I've done it. And when you buy these products, you find out that all you bought was a bag, $7 or $10 bag of animal feces or animal urine that has been dried and crystallized in such a way, and some people color it. They put it in a shiny bag and they put the perfect uh, vegetables on the bag and fruit and things like that. And you look at it and say, I want my peaches to look like this. Oh, I want my grapes to look like this. So you buy the bag, and yes, the stuff works. It works. But you are now short out of your budget of $10, $20, $100 $300 just by buying fertilizer each year. Then you go to the store, you buy the big bags. Oh, I'm gonna save some money. I'm gonna buy some cow manure. I'm gonna buy some horse manure. I'm gonna buy some compost. I'm gonna buy some soil conditioner. And realize when you buy the soil conditioner, all you bought was the leaves that they pick up on the side of the road and they take it somewhere and they process these leaves and they break them down and they make them into a compost. It was free when it was on the road, sitting there. Now you're paying $4 a bag, $5 a bag. And you say to yourself, why am I doing this? Because you love gardening. But gardening should not be expensive, folks. Gardening should not be expensive. Back in the day, let's go back about 100 years, none of those gardeners ever went to a box store. And they had beautiful crops because of one thing. Everything was natural. They understood the very nature of how plants grow and what they need. And they did well because they had to grow food in order to um, uh, to grow food and take care of their families. They had to be successful at what they did. And when we grow food today in our gardens, we take it lightly and go, well, this is just a garden. No, it's not. It is a miniature farm in the city, in the suburbs. It is a miniature farm. And you could grow a little in it, or you can grow a lot more in it when you do a miniature farm. And there are all kinds of techniques to show you how to grow in small spaces, how to maximize your yields. There are tons of videos on that stuff. And try to pay more attention to the farmers when you see these videos. Just try to pay attention to the farmers. You're talking about a guy or a lady who's growing food for one purpose, and that is survive and also to help their business strive. And some of the stuff that they do is pretty legitimate. But when they tell you to go and get man-made chemicals that are liquefied and man-made chemicals that are, you got to be careful about that. Be careful about that because you're trusting other people that they put the right stuff in your fertilizer. So I stopped using a lot of things I used before. I used to back in the day. I used to use Miracle Grow, and I lost plants. I would use the Miracle Grow and burn up the roots. And another thing I used to use was a man-made material called 10-10-10. Yeah. Oh, and another thing, folks, I want to say this because it just brought it to my attention. Um, I now still use chop and drop. Think about it, folks. I got weeds in my yard. They fall down or I chop them down. They lay on the ground. Their nutrients go back into the ground and they're free. Yep, 10-10-10. I remember that. That was the first thing I started with was 10-10-10. And I was burning stuff up with 10-10-10 because it was my fault. I was using too much of it because I wasn't getting the results I wanted. I'll put this stuff down and I'll come back week after week after week and I'd get some tomatoes out of it and they would taste like metal, like metal. And I didn't like that. Compost and urine is my only fertilizer. Better you, better world. I'm gonna tell you something. This person definitely got the right chemicals right there. What they're talking about right there. Now, let me say something to some of you about compost. Compost, all composts are not equal. They're just not. I mean, some people mix different composts together to get more diversity, and that's the best way I can say to go. Just one fertilizer from your yard will be good, but if you get that diversity going, you got a winner. I knew a gentleman that used to mix compost that was made from mushroom, cow, leaf mold, and every year, peppers that long. Bell peppers big enough your hand couldn't fit around them. And I said, he's got the right recipe. Your soil is supposed to be high in organic matter. Nature gives it to you, and we keep changing it. We cut. I've had people do this one thing that I've seen done. They'll say, "I'm gonna clean up my garden for my for the fall and the winter, so I can get started in spring." So they pull all the residue out of the garden, which is something I do is the opposite. I leave it there. Good morning. Good morning. The New Orleans Gardner. And I'm gonna tell you something, folks. Take that refuge, that pieces of okra plants, corn, all that. Leave it there, right there on top. Leave it right on top. You're better off. I take the weeds and I go over with the tractor and cut them all down, and I leave them right there. If you can get away with using a lawnmower, better for you. I leave them there. I no longer, ever till my garden. I don't do that. I can't believe there's still people around today that still till. But they do, in fact. They still till. People till. So keep that in mind. Okay, your aunt taught you. Okay, she is on. You leave grass and and also the nerve. Yep, your grandmother did it old school style. Your aunt, excuse me. She did it old school style. That's the way the farmers did it back in the day. That's the way they did it. Everything that was organic. And just remember this, folks. If I can give it to you like this, everything that is organic goes back into the garden. It's that simple. It's just that simple. I make a tea for my trees because I need a lot of it. And I got a receptacle, which is a trash can. It's never been used for trash. I just use it for just that purpose. And it's 40 gallons. And I throw in a bunch of weeds, about a quarter way full. And it'd be cheap on the water. I leave it out there with the lid open, and it fills with rain. Or I just fill it with from the hose, and or my rain barrels when I did have them functioning. Now they're not functioning anymore. I have no idea why. I cannot get them to fill up. Something's clogged somewhere. But that was 100 gallons of rainwater that I would fill up the drums with. Use a pump, an on-demand pump called a SureFlow, 100 psi on it. I put a 100-foot hose on it and run it anywhere on my property, just about, and water with that. And it was free water, so I don't believe in spending water on my plant. That's a waste to pay for water to water your garden when you can just set up a rain barrel system, or if you're near a stream, or if you have a well or something like that. Come on, why are you spending water on your garden? Money for water. It's just too easy to get water. Water falls right from the sky. You know, that's how I looked at it one day. And what made me look at it that day was when the city went up on our water bills. And I said, oh my God, they're cutting into what I'm doing, which is my garden. A week later, I started building a water system, which is rain barrels. And I got two 55-gallon drums. I wanted 4, but it was a little difficult to find for me. And then I just didn't feel like looking for them. And I said, ah, the heck with it, So I went and got 2 drums. Built a manifold system. You'll see it on my channel. And when you see that, you'll see how I built them up. Do a beautiful job of them. Oh my God, I've been talking to you guys' ears off for almost half an hour. Let's see. And that's how that works. So make sure that you try the urine. Definitely try the urine if you feel like it. If you, it's just incredible. Wait a minute, let me get something real quick. I'm gonna show you something. Just hold tight, don't go nowhere. In my window, I can stand the rain. Okay, this is my indoor urine system. Can all of you see this? Can you see this? I guess they can't see it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Can you see it? And this is my indoor system. One part, okay, yes, you can see it. One part will be like down here, urine. Rest of it water. Just was go on. No smell, nothing, because it's inside, it's enclosed. And pump it up, spray. This unit, this little thing here, I'm not telling you to go to them because I don't have no stock in this store. But these are found all over. I got mine at, what did I get it? I think it was Home Depot or Lowe's. I got it here. This is kind of pricey. I think I spent like back in the day about $6 for it. Yes, that's pricey to me. I don't like giving somebody $6 for this, but it'll last forever. I had it for years now. But first, I in the morning, and that's it. And I spray my plants, and they go crazy for it. They go absolutely crazy for it. That's what they do. Right about here. That's what I did. Rest of it water. And this is not perfect. If I would have put it a little bit here, it wouldn't have mattered. But I want to be safe, absolutely safe. So I put it here. That and I did what I had to do. Okay, man, I am looking forward to it. You're looking forward to it. I guess you mean you're looking forward to using this method, and that way you'll be all set. I got to tell you, urine grows more blossoms than just using something like what was it? Miracle Grow I used. I didn't like that, folks. I was using the plant in my indoor plants, and they weren't moving, folks. When you got plants outside, you grow food, and they're not moving. You come in the spring, and they're not moving. Each week you go out there. I mean, each day you go out there and you look and put your hands up, folks. If any of you ever put plants outside, come on now, let's work together. And they just weren't moving. They weren't growing. You kept saying, "Oh my God, I don't want to be. I'm supposed to have patience doing this, but why aren't these plants growing?" I mean, come on. I'm doing everything right. I read all the information. I watched a ton of videos, and everybody that watch videos, they tell you one thing, they tell you another thing, they tell you another thing. It's crazy. It's crazy. What they're not telling you is that foliar feeding is efficient. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Who put that out there? Okay, better you, better world. Absolutely, the truth. Foliar feeding with urine. Oh my goodness. The only thing you would want to do, like if you had tomatoes out there, here's something that I do. I had tomatoes out there. I'll spray the foliar down once a week. Once a week, I'll spray them down. Then, if I know I'm gonna pick tomatoes next week or 2 weeks from now, I'll stop feeding it the foliar spray with the urine, and then I'll go pick them, and that's it. There's no magic around that. It's nothing crazy about that, and you really don't 100% have to do that. But to be safe, if you use other people's urine and all that, you say I want to be safe about that. I'm gonna wait a week, and then I'm gonna pick some tomatoes or green beans or whatever. But you'll see your plants produce more flowers. More flowers equal more fruit, more vegetables, and that's what you want to do. Yes, yes. Yep. Urine has phosphorus. Urine has a ton of other stuff in it. Tons of it. A ton of it. That you'll look at it, and when you see it, you say, "Oh my God!" You look like you're looking at a very well put together fertilizer, and that's what you look at. You go right there on Google, chemical makeup of urine, of human urine. Excuse me. Chemical makeup of human urine. And you'll see all kind of stuff there that will make you go, oh my God, this guy is, I'm going to stop watching his channel a little more. Some of you actually are subscribed to me, and automatically I pop up when I go online, and I do appreciate that. But I don't get a lot of viewers. I just don't. It's just my channel is like, I don't know. But at any rate, I do get some of you in here, and you do come in and you get the information. And oh, and one gentleman, God, I can't remember his name right now. Let me see if I can find him here. He mentioned me on his channel. He actually mentioned me on his channel. And you got another gentleman, which is Food Farm Permaculture. He mentions me on his channel. And he'll do that because he appreciates the information that I put out, and I appreciate the information that he puts out. And he's a brilliant person. Brilliant. Brilliant. Another gentleman mentioned me on his channel, which is God, I can't remember his name. He does he works for the post office. Some of you know him. Some of you know him. He's a really good guy. He mentioned me. No, he told someone, if you're looking for a knowledgeable individual, go to Morning Gardner show. And he's very knowledgeable about, that's it, Lead Farmer 73. That's it, thank you. Lead Farmer 73, that's it. I'm telling you. And you see all the stuff going on this property. And I look at it and I go, this guy loves what he's doing. I go to, there's a young lady that the New Orleans Gardner, the New Orleans Gardner, I looked at her channel. She's something. I mean, she loves what she's doing, and I look around at what she's producing, and it looks very good. And then she sings a little bit at the at the end of a sentence or something, and I thought I was the only one out there, and I found out that I'm not the only one who sings in some of the videos that I make. But I do a lot of Barry White's work. I don't know if a lot of you are not old enough to remember Barry White, but I do a lot of his songs. I used to do a lot of it at karaoke before the pandemic stepped in and put a hold to that. I haven't been out to karaoke since it started, and I had people, DJs, hit me up and say, "When are you coming out?" I'm not coming out until, she's in the house. She's in the house, yes. And I gotta say, it's just incredible, folks, to some of the gardeners that are coming to this room. But I wish sometimes that I did have those big numbers, like I see some gardeners on there. They come up there, and they'll be live. There'll be like 200 people watching. And I say, how are they doing this? And I'll watch their channel for a while, and I'll say, okay, what are they doing different that I'm not doing? And they just a guy with his wife or whatever, and they'd be sitting there and they say, well, we've grown this okra and doing what we got to do. I put some fertilizer down and make sure that and I'm looking, saying he's just talking and he's just in front of the camera. I said, okay, anything unique about his personality? His wife would be like very entertaining, or because women are, a lot of times are very open-minded and friendly, and they're very sweet, So yeah, I mean, I can understand people watching for the wives, and because the wives are very entertaining and very truthful about situations, and so I like that. But I do this because I love it, and even if I only get one person in this room, if it comes to that, I'm going to continue to do it as long as I can do it. But that's just the Morning Gardener's way of looking at gardening, is that you're only successful if you keep trying. It's just that simple. You're gonna have days where you're gonna fail, and I'm gonna tell you what the failure is like. It's just a learning experience. All it is. All it is. You can't always use a method that works for one person in their town or their neck of the woods or whatever you want to call it, and it works for you, because it may not work for you, because it's different soil, different environment, you name it. But when you stumble upon what works for you and you follow the basic needs, the plant must eat, the plant must drink, the plant must have sun, it must have air, it must have oxygen to its roots. When you start following the basics of a plant, you start being more and more successful. And always return back to the soil what you take out. Return back to the soil what you take out. I mean to tell you, I chop and drop because it works and it's free. It's just that simple. You've been listening to the Morning Gardener Show. And no, stop. Okay, I'll just have a little fun there, folks. Let's see now. Um, I think that urine is a very important research, and that someday more gardeners and farmers in the U.S. will stop treating it as trash and throwing it away, landfills, or get rid of it, or doing what they got to do with it that doesn't pertain to feeding its population. You watch and see what I tell you. Human urine in some parts of the world is being used on a daily basis. It has been proven 100 times, 1,000 times over to be very essential to feeding their population. The only thing is, in the U.S., we are so set on, no, I will not eat food grown with human urine. I will not eat food grown with human feces. And what they don't know is that you are eating it. The food that you're eating, that's grown overseas, that you're getting, is definitely grown overseas, and they use this methodology, and they grow the food with what they can afford and what they know works. Urine and human feces is one of those things. And that's what they use. So when you buy things, I went into the market a couple of days ago. Let me show you something here. I live up here in a part of the neck of the woods that this fruit, which is called the devil's fruit, does not grow. This does not grow here. Can you see that? That does not grow here. It grows in another part of the world. Comes here green as grass until it ripens, or they use a gas to ripen it. But this is grown in part of the world that's probably very poor, and they grow it with what they can grow it with. So you are eating what works for them. Pineapple, banana, you name it. Absolutely. That's right. A better you, better world. Yes, absolutely. You telling the truth. You telling the truth. I grow food using, and let me just say this to you folks. I don't want to put it across like I have no income at all. That's not what I'm saying. That I cannot grow what I want. If I decide to go to the box stores and buy all these fancy fertilizers and all that stuff, I just choose not to. If I choose not to. I want to be able to be self-sufficient, because in this world you never know. How would you feel if something would happen and they cut off the supply of fertilizers, and you couldn't get them at the box stores? What would you do? But with this information I'm giving you, your yard would be full of fruit and vegetables, and your neighbors that didn't follow would be without. You would know to, in the fall, chop down all your chop and drop to fertilize the soil, at the right time of year, which is in the fall, and that's what nature does every year, every year since thousands and millions of years. They the grass that you have stands up like this. And when it gets cold, it falls down like this. It hits the ground. And once it hits the ground, it goes back into the ground. That's exactly. Nature don't need you to cut it down, but I do it to speed up the process. So I call it chop and drop. Chop, it drops, lays on the soil. The biology in the soil eats the um, plant matter, and when it comes back around to spring, you put your spring plants in, and and things like spinach and what they call that thing. God, I can't think of it right now. I got other things on my mind right now. But when you put in things like Swiss chard, when you put that stuff in, and you put some urine around it, please. You talking about it jumping out of the ground. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about having huge Swiss chard leaves. That's what you're talking about. Tomatoes start blossoming sooner using human urine. They not only blossom sooner, they start producing fruit, and they produce more fruit, and they produce. I mean, most of us grow a garden each year, and they don't get what they wanted from their garden. It's either growing slow, it's producing very, very small yields. Come on, let's be real about it. Because all I do is look at the videos, and I see when you got, let's say, 10 videos, and you got 3 people out of the 10 videos that are growing large harvests, and the rest of them growing average harvests. You put 2 and 2 together, and you say, okay, they're having a hard time, but they're doing the best they know how to do. I have trees out on my property that are dwarfs, and they are huge trees. Why? Because the ground that they're growing from is very fertile. That's why. I mean, a tree is going to grow if you put the food down there. But they're 22 feet tall. And the information that these trees that's given to you when you buy these trees is that they'll grow 8 to 10 feet. Don't let that fool you, folks. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. They'll grow bigger than that if you feed them properly. And what I've been growing them is I do all my cuttings from my trees. I lay them down at the base of my trees. That's what I do. Been doing it for years. And it works. Stephen Lewis. Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. 100%. The plants that you're giving the proper nutrients to will just do better all the way around. It's that simple. Will do better all the way around. And I believe I have some watermelons out there on my property somewhere. But because when I hurt my knee, I have grass that's like 4 feet tall. Wait a minute. Yeah, about 4 feet tall. Maybe taller some places. But I hurt myself bad, and I could not get out to my garden. That hurt me this year. That really, really hurt me this year. I couldn't get out. So, on that note, folks, it's almost an hour in. Yeah, less powdery mildew, everything. Everything. When a plant is healthy, it just doesn't have an issue with the forces that are against it growing. And when you grow plants that are healthier, you have less bug infestation. That's a plus. And I don't have bugs eating up my crops. I mean, I just don't. And I'm amazed when people tell me, there's bugs eating my property and they're eating because you're using man-made chemicals sometimes. And the plants are growing so out of their norm that the bugs go for them. because the plants are highly stressed. And bugs gravitate towards plants that are highly stressed. All right, good people, this has been the Morning Garden Show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I hope that I didn't talk your ears off too much. But if you have any comments, any of the videos that I put out, please leave comments. This has been the Morning Garden Show, and we're going to talk more about urine as a fertilizer in the U.S. as well as throughout the world in the next upcoming videos. That's what we're going to do. So I want to thank you all for tuning in and really spending time with me. I appreciate it. Thank you. This has been the Morning Garden Show. You have a good day, and remember to keep on growing. Thank you.